G'day everyone, welcome back to Fix It in Post. My name is Nick and today we're going to look at how to create the typewriter effect in Premiere, which I think is a crime that they just don't have a preset for it at the moment, but we can create one easily in After Effects. It's super easy and I'm going to show you how to do that in basically just a couple of steps. So this is what we're going to create today. It's pretty basic. I've just overlaid, it's only really that text section that we're looking at. So we're just going to be able to make this so you can just put it over the top of anything you want. It's easy to customize. You can change the font, you can change the speed of the text with just a couple of tricks. It's very, very basic to do. So let's just dive right into it. So I'll just delete this and we'll just start from scratch. So let's bring on a title. I'll make a new title and we'll just make it blank. So you don't have to use a title. You can use anything you want, like a solid, but I just like using titles. There you go. Time it out to the length of the thing. Now let's replace this with an After Effects composition. Now I already have After Effects open already, but if you don't have it already open, it'll just automatically open for you. Oops, sorry. And there we go. I'll just jump in here and it'll create a link for you. If you saw the previous tune about lower thirds, this is basically what you do. You go in and you delete the solid. And now let's just make use the text tool and let's create a bounding box. So, all right, now I'm just going to paste in some text just so that I know what the size of the font needs to be, just for the first one at least anyway. So that's all right. At least I know it all fits in. This is just lorem ipsum but translated in case anybody wonders. Just some random text I found on the internet basically. Okay, so you can justify the text as well. I mean, you can set it all up. Maybe you want to make it centered. Some people like that. You can also make it italic. So this is where you style everything is in After Effects, like how you want it to look and stuff. I mean, we can even do something a little bit more fancy, and if we wanted to make quotations, we could just add a couple of quotations in the background. So I'm just going to center this. I'm going to press Option Command Home or Option Control Home for those PC users. It's going to make this really big. Put it in the background there, and I'm just going to make it about 20%. And I'm going to do the same, and I'm going to rotate this 180. Make that there. Okay. So now that we've got those set up, I'm just going to put the Typewriter preset on there. So if you go to the Effects and Presets panel here, just type, we'll just start typing Typewriter, and then it should come up there, animate in. Let's drag that on to the text we want to affect. Now if you press U to bring up the keyframes, let's just make this go for about 2 seconds because it is quite a lot of text and it's going to go quite fast. There you go. And I'm just going to put a quick fade up on these two quotation marks so it doesn't just pop on. There we go. Okay, cool. So we've set that up. Now, if we go back, now let's just save it. If we go back into Premiere, you can see that this is what happens now. So that's cool. And that's pretty much all it is to create that preset. Now, when I mean this is a preset, you can change the text if you like. So what I would suggest is you highlight, this is the way you change it. You highlight the clip and you press F and it brings up the effects controls here. And you can change the text in this system here. Now, in this field here. So I'm just going to put in some other random text just to show you how easy it is to change. You won't be able to see it all because unfortunately the boxes don't quite, you know, go all the way out unless you pull it all the way out, but that's something they're going to have to fix in future versions. But you're just going to have to make sure you know what you're writing in there. So I'm just going to delete everything and then paste in some new text. And there you go, it changes again. Now I made sure that the text actually does kind of fit in sort of roughly the same size, because if you put in more than's actually there, it'll start cutting stuff off. So so you don't want to put in what do you call, more than you think can fit into that bounding box that we originally created. So as you can see here, we made a bounding box, so anything that goes past this bounding box here will just get cut off. Okay, so let's just say you have a client and they want you to basically make 3 or 4 different slides using the same typewriter preset, but just keep the backgrounds the same, but just change the text. So it's pretty straightforward. Now that we've got the template set up, we can just duplicate them. So make sure you go into make sure you find the template that you're working on. So just reveal in project and right click on it and then duplicate. And let's just duplicate the bottom layers. So let's select them and just copy and paste. And now let's drag the new one we just created onto the timeline again. And now we have a new template. So all we have to do is basically press F again, go to the effects panel and paste in your text, and it will change again. So it's different from the first one. Now you've got a second one. Neat, huh? Okay, too easy. Now let's do that again. So we'll duplicate it again. We'll duplicate this one. Let's bring it on. Now, if you don't want to keep going over there and duplicating, there's an easy way to do that. I held down Option or Alt, and I just lift up, and it just makes me a duplicate. You can do that with anything in Premiere. It'll duplicate it automatically if you hold down Option and drag it up. Press F, go to the effects panel, and let's pick some new font, new text. So there you go, you've got 3 unique slides and you only had to use one template to be able to get it to work. So it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy, right? Now, so say the text is too short. So what do? It's going to come up really slow, which is the problem, which is an issue that I first encountered when we first did this. So now, for example, that maybe is a bit too slow. It's also a little bit too low, which is unfortunate. So it's a little bit too high, which is also unfortunate. Now, you could also move this up and down, which is one thing you could do, or you could just make a new template, which unfortunately I think you would have to do. So the way you can fix the speed, at least anyway, is, it still looks kind of cool, but anyway, let's just say we want this to write on a little bit faster. So let's right click on this and go speed 300%. And there you go, that's writing on a bit faster now. So, but the problem is now that your thing doesn't last as long. So what do is let's zoom in, right click on it, go to the last frame you can, and add frame hold, and just pull that out. And that's it. You've got yourself you can speed that up or slow it down as long as you like. Again, if there's too much text, you could also do the opposite, which is if you want to slow everything down, you can make this 50%. String that up, and you can make the text type on really slowly. And that's pretty easy, right? Like, that's pretty basic. Now, what's really great with this too is that you can also bring this into another project. So if you were to make a new project, Typewriter preset. Now, if we were to make another one, and you were thinking, hey, maybe I would like to use the preset from the previous project that I used, but I don't want to recreate everything again. Not that it would take you long, but just say you've got something complex set up. It's pretty basic, so let's just set up a template. Let's call it Typewriter. And let's import, I'm pressing Command I or Control I. Let's go to the Typewriter preset. We highlight the After Effects project, go import, and it was this one from what I remember. That is why it's important to label your stuff properly, because otherwise it's hard to remember what it is. Alright, okay, now it's already there. We can bring that in. And this is the great part. Now you see it's already here. And all you have to do is just change text. And there you go. It's pretty much already done. And if you don't like those quotation marks, you can go back to the original project, edit original, and just get rid of them. And then they're gone. And that'll propagate through everything, every instance of that template. So just be careful that if once you change the template, it changes everything that ever uses that template. So my suggestion is, if you're making a new project and you just want to change the template for that project, make a new After Effects template. So just duplicate it. Like, it's as simple as going into your Explorer or your Finder and just duplicating that After Effects project. And that's it. I hope that's been helpful, guys. It's not a super difficult one, but I thought this is in the new edition of the dynamic link between Premiere and Adobe After Effects. I thought it was a really good kind of way to get the typewriter effect, because I need this. I use this all the time, and I always need to use the typewriter preset. I just wish that they had it in Premiere. I don't know why they don't just put it in there. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.